Good morning, guys. Am I audible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Good
sir.
morning,
Good
sir.
morning, sir.
Okay. So, in our last class of Linq, we have discussed this distinct method. That is, this method is basically used to return the unique elements from a single data source, right? For this operator to work, we need a single data source, and that data source, from that data source, it is going to return the unique element, right? Unique element in the sense, if the elements appear two times, that is one time it is going to remove, and it is going to return that element only once. But this is not going to work with complex type as expected, because in complex type or with complex type, the default comparer which is used within the distinct method, that is case insensitive, right? So in that case, if you are having some string element, right, which is a so one element in capital letter, another element in small letter, then in that case it is going to consider them as a two different elements, and it is not going to remove, right? For that purpose, we have used the string comparer, right? Hello, anyone saying anything? Okay. So that is what we have discussed. And further, if you are working with the complex type, then this operator behavior is going to be different. And for that purpose, right, we need to create one comparer, use that comparer as a parameter within the distinct method. Or second option is we can use anonymous type. Third option is that we need to override the get as code and equals method within the complex type. And the fourth option is that our type should inherit from I equatable. So there are four options that we can use in order to make sure the distinct operator or distinct method work as expected when we are working with the complex type. So let us today discuss these three things, right? So not these three things. Apart from this, the fourth option is there, that is concat, right? Concat basically joining two data sources, joining two data sources without removing the duplicate element, without removing the duplicate element, right? Joining, or you can say joining or combine two data sources into one data source without removing the duplicate. So let us discuss these four things parallelly so that you will get a better idea. For this data source, for this distinct method, we need only a single data source. But to work with the except, intersect, union, and concat, we need two data sources. What is this except method will going to do? It will return the element which are available in first data source and not available in the second data source. That means, suppose in data set 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is there, and in data set 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 is there, then from data source 1, 1, 2, 3 is there, which is not available in data source 2. That means in the output, it is going to return only those elements which are available in data source 1 but not in data source 2. What is it intersect method is going to do? It is going to return the common element. Common element means, for example, okay, let me give you one idea so that you will understand these things better. Okay, this is my data source one. This is data source one, and this is data source. Okay, so here, if I'm going to perform these operations, then what will happen? So this is except operator. In except operator case, what will be the output? This except operator saying that it will return those elements which are available in first data source, but not in the second data source. So one is available in the second data source. Yes, available. Two is available in the second data source. No, two is not available in the second data source. Return two. Three is available. Four is available. Right? Three is available. Yes, available. Four is available in the second data source. No, not available. Return that element. 5 is available in the second data source. Yes, available. 6 is available in the second data source. No, 6 is not available. So return that. So except operator means it will return only those elements which are available in the first data source, but not in the second data source. Clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The second operator, what is intersect? Intersect means what? Now it is going to return the elements which are available in both the data source. Both the data source means it is available, it should be available in data source 1 as well as it should be available in data source 2. So now you just tell me one is available in data source 1, is one is available in data source 2? Yes, it is available. It will return that element. 2 is available in data source 2? No. 3 is available in data source 2? Yes, 3 is available. 4 is available in data source 2? No. 5 is available in data source 2? Yes, 5 is available. 6 is available in data source 2? No, 6 is not available. So intersect is basically going to return those elements which are available in both the data sources, right? That is the, you can see the common elements from both the data sources that is going to be written by the intersect method. Clear, guys?
Yeah, basically intersection of sites.
Exactly, intersect operation. So this is the set operation. Union. Union is basically going to do the joining of both the data sources, but by removing the duplicate element. See here, one you will find, here two you will find, right? Here three you will find, fourth you will find, right? 5 will appear so once, right? 6 is going to appear once, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 is already appeared. No need to again, the union is not going to contain duplicate. So it is going to ignore this one. 3 is already appeared. It is going to ignore this one. 5 is already appeared. It is going to ignore this one. 8, 9, 10, it is not appeared. So it is going to store 8. It is going to store 9. It is going to store 10. That means it is basically joining both the data sources, or you can say it is combining the two data sources by removing the duplicate elements. Clear, guys?
Yes, yes, yes.
And the next one is Concat. So Concat is basically it is going to combining or joining both the data sources without removing the duplicate element. So you will see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this element also you will get here, right? So here, what is people will ask you, what is the difference between union and concat? So union is basically going to join the two data sources by removing the duplicate element, whereas the concat operation, it is also going to join the two data sources, but without removing the duplicate element. Clear, guys?
Yes,
So let us see
yes,
all these things
join.
let us see all these things practically. So these four operators we will see now practically. So I'm going to show you these examples parallelly so that you will get a better idea. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the example by taking different data types, right? So we need to understand how it is working with integer type, how it is working with the string type, how it is working with the complex type, right? Those things I'm going to show you. So this example, you can see I'm using the except operator. Except operator means you know what exactly this operator is going to do. This operator is basically going to return the elements which are available in the first data source but not in the second data source. As you can see, 2 is not available, 4 is not available, 6 is not available. So this operator will return me 246 as the output. Right now, let me run the application and show the see the output. 246 is the output. Now, so this is how you need to use the method syntax. And for query syntax, there is no such operator called except. So what you need to do? First of all, you need to prepare the query syntax, and then you need to call the except method like this. So, right? Except method like this, right? So now, instead of except, now you can also use intersect. This is also going to be the way you are working. It is going to be same because it is going to work on two data. So this is data source 1 and this is data source 2. So intersect means it is going to return the common operator or common elements which are available in both the data sets. 135 is the common element which is available in both the data. 1 is available, 3 is available, and 5 is available in both the data sets. Now, if you are going with the union operation, then what exactly it is going to do? It is going to return the elements by removing the duplicates, right? So basically, you will not find any element twice in the output. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Even though few elements are appeared in both the data sources, 1 is appeared, 3 is appeared, right? 5 is appeared in both the data sources. Even though they are appeared in both the data sources, in the output, they are only appeared once, right? So basically, in this case, it is removing the duplication. Now, if your requirement is you do not want to remove the duplicate element, right? You just want to, right? You don't want to remove the duplicate element and you want to return all the elements, including the duplicate element from from both the data sources, right? You just need to join this element with this element without removing the duplicate element. Then you need to use the concat operator or concat method, right? So you can see it is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 first element, first data source element, 1, 3, 5, 8, 9, 10. This is the second data source element. Clear, guys? How to work with primitive data type? You need to work like this. Further, if you look, right, further, if you go to the except method, right, if you go to the except method, then you will see there are two overloaded versions. For except method, there are two overloaded version. One overloaded version taking I equality comparer as parameter. If you go to the union method, then you will also see that there are two overloaded version of the union operator where it is the second overloaded version taking I equality comparer as the parameter. Similarly, if you go to the intersect method, then also you will see it is taking two parameter. There are two overloaded version and the second overloaded version taking I equality comparer as a parameter. But for the concat method, there is no overloaded version because in the case of a concat, it is not doing any kind of a filtration, right? It is not doing any kind of filtration. That is, whatever element available in the first data source, it is adding with the second data source, and that's it. But for other three, right? So if you look at this thing, for except internally is comparing the element. For intersect, it is internally comparing the element, right? For union internally, it is also checking the equality, whether the two elements are equal or not, right? And based on the equality, it is returning the element. And for concat, there is no equality check, right? That means whatever elements is there, that is going to be written as it is. But this is not the same in the case of except, intersect, and union. And this is the reason why this except, intersect, and union operator having two overloaded version, and for concat operator, it is only having a single method. Why? Because there is no need to check the equality. Why I'm going to check the equality? As we know, I'm going to return all the elements from both the data sources. But this is required in the case of except, intersect, and union, because I'm not going to return the data as it is. I'm going to check the equality, and based on the equality, then I need to decide which element I need to return as part of my operation. And this is the reason why these three methods having two different overloaded version, and the second one taking the I equality comparer, which is we are also going to discuss the need of that equality operator, or you can say how we are going to use that overloaded version. That is also what we are going to discuss next, right? But before that, let me show you how you can work with the string data type. So in this example, we worked with the what data type? Integer data type. Now let me show you how you can work with the string data type. So you can see here I'm having one string array, two string array, one containing the countries, right? Here data source one, India, USA, UK, Canada, Sri Lanka. This is data source three, India, UK, Canada, France, and Japan. Right, so data source one except method, and here you can see except method means here you can see the element which are not available in the second data source, that is going to be returned. So India is available, USA is not available, so we want US in the output. UK is available, but the thing is that here UK is appeared in capital letter, here appeared in Sri Lanka letter. Canada is available, Sri Lanka is not available. So what we want? We want the USA and Sri Lanka in the output, right? And but UK, even though AP case insensitive, right? That is what we need to understand, what is case sensitive and what is case insensitive, and whether that will be appeared in the output or not. So, but for our requirement, we do not want that UK to be appeared in the output. We want USA and Sri Lanka to be appeared in the output. Let me run the application and see whether it is working fine or not. See, USA, UK, Sri Lanka. UK, even though appeared in both the data sources, but still that is showing in the output. Why it is happening? The reason for this is the default comparer, right? So if you remember the I except method having two overloaded versions. One doesn't take the I equality compare. That means internally the internally this except method implement one I equality comparer, and that I equality comparer is case insensitive. That I equality comparer is case sensitive. That means it will treat uppercase and lowercase at two different string, and the result you can see they are returning. It is not considering that this UK is same as this UK, and hence it is returning this UK in the output. Right now, what is your requirement? I don't want that to be appeared, right? So basically, I want to make sure that this UK and so while comparing the element, it should ignore the case. And for that purpose, what you can do, you can use the string comparer. String comparer, right? Dot. There are a few options are there. We need to use ordinal ignore case. So that means in this case, now it is going to ignore the case sensitive. Now it is going to ignore the case sensitive. Now you might be one question, sir. This except method, the second overloaded version taking I equality comparer, and here you are passing string comparer. How is that possible? It is possible because if you go to the definition of string comparer, then you will see that it is inheriting from I equality comparer. As it is inheriting from I equality comparer, then you can pass the string comparer as a parameter. Further, what is this? Then you might have a question, sir, that comparer, we need to pass one instance. Instance means object. We are not passing one object. How is that possible? Yes, it is possible. If you go to the ordinal ignore case, right, then what you will see, it is a property which is returning a string comparer, right? What exactly it is doing? Now get a system.string comparer object. Object means instance that perform a case insensitive string comparison, right? So in this case, once you pass this thing, it will do a case insensitive string comparison. And the same you can give me 1 minute, guys. Right, so you can see here I'm passing these things, and once you pass, let me run the application, and this time you will see the output as expected, that UK is not going to be appeared in the output list. The same thing is also for intersect and intersect, right? So here I'm using intersect method, and I'm just removing this comparison, then you will see the output. So in intersect, as you know, the common element. So we want India is appeared here, USA is not appeared, UK is appeared, and Canada is appeared. So we want India, UK, Canada in the output. Let me run the application and see the output whether these things are appearing or not in USA, UK, and Sri Lanka. Okay, which operation I'm doing? Intersect. Okay, intersect means what? The element which had appeared here, not here, right? So USA is appeared, not appeared. UK is appeared, UK is appeared. Even though UK is appeared, this is still it is returning, right? And Canada is not there. Sri Lanka is so Canada is there. Sri Lanka is not there. So Sri Lanka is appearing. But the problem here is US is fine. Sri Lanka is fine. We don't want the UK to be appeared in the output. And if you want that, then what you need to do? You need to again use the string comparison, right? So once you use the string comparison, right? I have done some mistake. Oh, so what is the use of intersect? Intersect means it is going to return the common element, right? So common element means in this case, India is common, UK is common, and Canada is common. So we want India, UK, Canada in the output. India and Canada is coming in the output, not UK. Why? Because the default comparer which is used by the intersect method is case sensitive. And we want to make this operation to be case insensitive. And for that purpose, we need to use string comparer. And this one. And once you use this, run the application and see the output. See, India, UK, and Canada, it is now coming as expected. Clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Right? And union is also going to work in the same manner, right? You, if you want to remove the duplicate elements, right, then you need to use the union operator, right? So I'm using the union, and you will see every element is going to appear once. India, USA, UK, Canada, Sri Lanka, France, and Japan. Each element is appearing only once, right? Now, what I can do is I can remove this one. I can remove this one, and I can run the application once more. See, India, USA, UK, Canada, Sri Lanka, UK appeared 2 times. Why? Because the default comparer is going to be case sensitive. Right? You understand union? Yes.
Yes, sir.
The last
Yes.
one is concat, and concat for this operation, there is no second overloaded which can take the comparer, because in this case, every element is going to be appeared, right? So whatever duplicate element, they are not going to be removed. First data source element, second data source element, right? Every element is appeared as part of the result. So these are the 4 operators that you can use. And guys, one more thing, whenever you are performing the operation, if any of the data source is null, then it will throw a runtime exception, right? Now you will see it will throw you that second data source is value cannot be null, parameter name second, right? So the second data source value you are passing is null, right? And it is not only for concat method, you can take any method. So I'm taking the union method. I'm taking the union method. Again, it is going to give me the error, right? I'm getting the error. I'm taking the intersect method. Right? It is going to give me the error, right? So I'm taking the except method. It is going to give me the error, right? So basically the point that you need to remember, while you are using these operation set operators, right? Set methods. If any of the data source is null, then it is going to give you a runtime error, because in this case is unable to this value should not be null, right? Or this value should not be null. If you know, if you are calling one method on a null object, then you will get null reference exception, right? And again, if you are comparing with null data, then it will tell you that this value is null, so you cannot compare with this data source. That is what you need to check before passing. You need to make sure that the value should not be null. Clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So next, what we are going to discuss, we are going to discuss how to work with complex type. Complex type means this is fine, right? With a string type, with a integer type, with a character, float, right? Those types which store the value directly. With this operator are work as expected. But the working nature of this operator is going to be different when they are working with a complex type. So let me create a complex type student, right? So we have created the student. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you some example, right? Using this operators. So for that purpose, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create two data sources. All students, class 6 students, right? All student means it is going to contain the students of both the, I mean all the class student, and this class student, it is going to contain the class 6 students. Now I'm going to compare the these two data sources by using all the operations, right? So let me show you. Okay. Right? So what is our requirement? Our requirement is to select all the names, right? So what is, first of all, you guys tell me, what is the use of a except method? Except method means it will return the elements from the first data source which are not appeared in the second data source. So what is our requirement? We need to fetch all the student names which are available in this data set except the class 6 student data. So that means Sambit Anurag Pranay appeared here. Sambit Anurag Pranay also appeared here. So we need to ignore these three names, right? And we need to return Priti, Hina, and whatever, Santosh, right? That as part of our result, right? That means we need to select the names which are appeared in all student data source, but not in class 6 student data source. And for that purpose, we need to use the except method, right? So except method. Now as we are going to return only the name, so what we need to do, we need to use the select operator, and we need to specify from this data source, please select only the name, and from this data source, right, from the second data source, please select only the names, and then apply the except operator and call the toList method. So in this case, once you run the application, then you will get the data as expected. So you will see the names which are appeared in the first data source, that is Priti, Hina, and Santosh, which are not appeared in the second data source. In the second data source, you can see Priti, Hina, Santosh is not appeared, right? So that is what. Now, clear, guys? This example is clear, or still anybody having any question?
No, it is clear, simple,
Clear.
straightforward.
It's very straightforward. That's why I'm combining these things. I should not take more time on this thing. So next one is intersect, right? Intersect means what? I just want to return the elements which are a student name which had appeared in this collection, also appeared in this collection. That means I want to return the common students which are appeared in both the student. Common means you can see Sambit, Anurag, and Pranay. They are appeared in both the collections, right? So I just want to return those elements, right? So for example, you can also add a few more elements. So I'm adding some 110. I'm writing here Pratik, right? So you can see these three elements appeared here and also appeared in the first data source. Let me run the application. Sambit, Anurag, Pranay. So these are the three elements which is appeared in data source 1 as well as in data source 2, and hence you can see the output. Right? This is very straightforward, and in the same way you can also use the union operation. Right? Union operation. Right? Union operation means it is going to return the unique elements only. So all the elements are going to be written but unique. So you can see the elements which are duplicate, they are simply removed, right? Sambit, Anurag, Pranay here appeared, Sambit, Anurag, Pranay appeared, but in the output, Sambit appeared once, Anurag appeared once, and Pranay appeared once. So this is how the union operation works. Now, if you want to concat these two things, you don't want to remove the duplicate element, you want all the element as per your requirement, right? Then you need to use concat. Concat means it is simply going to return all the elements by without removing the duplicate. See, Sambit appeared one, Sambit appeared two, Anurag appeared one, Anurag appeared two, Pranay appeared once, Pranay also appeared twice. Clear, guys?
Yes.
Right. That is fine. Now the interesting fact is that this is working fine. Now, what is our requirement? We not only want to fetch the student name, we want to fetch all the student information. So all the student information means whatever properties available, I want to fetch all the properties. Currently, how many properties available? Two properties available. So we want to fetch both the properties as part of our result set, right? So for that purpose, what we need to use? See, in previous example, we fetched a single property, only the name. And this is the, and that's why, and a name means that is a string property. And on string, already the, what I can say, the I equivalent comparer is implemented. And by default, it is going to return the data as expected. But now this is not the requirement. Now we want to return all the student information. All means I want to print name, and as well as I want to print the ID values of the student. But here you can see again the same student, same ID you can see 102 Sambit. Here 102 Sambit is there. Anurag 104 Anurag. Here 104 Anurag is there. 105 Pranay is also here. That means these three students are a duplicate, or you can say appeared in both the collections. Now what is our requirement? We need to fetch all the student information which are appear in first data source but not in the second data source, right? So that means this this Sambit, Anurag, Pranay should not be in the output. It should display Pranay, Hina, and Santosh as part of the output if I'm going with the except operation. The syntax is very clear, right? All students start except, and you need to pass the second data source, right? From, and also here this is same, from all student I'm selecting the student and then I'm applying the except method, right? Now if you run the application, then you will not get the output as expected. You will not get, why you will not get that, what I'm going to explain, right? So you can see, is this the expectation? Do you think that this is our expected output, guys? Do you think that this is our expected output if I'm going to perform the expect operation, except operation? Yes or no?
No.
So as per our expectation, as per our thought, if I am going with this except operator or except method, what should be in the output? It should be the element which are appeared in the first data source. The element should not be appeared in the second data source. In this case, you can see our expectation is Pranay, Priti should be appeared, Hina should be appeared, and Santosh should be appeared, but we are not getting the data as expected. Right? Clear? And how, okay, it is not appeared. Then how we can overcome this problem, that I will show you. But for now, the complex type, whenever we are working with the complex type, the except operator will not work as expected. What is the reason behind this? The reason behind this, the default comparer, right, which is used by the except method, it is not, it is going to check the reference equality. It is going to check the reference equality, not the value equality. That means what? That means in this case, what is the object address, what is the reference address, right? What is the object address of the student, what is the object address of the student, what is the object address of the student. It is going to check with this data source. It is going to check the object address. It is not going to check the individual property value. It is not going to check what is the ID value, what is the name property value. It is not going to check the ID and name property values. Rather, it is going to check the reference address of each object. And in this case, as you can see, in each object, I'm using the new operator. In each object, I'm using the new operator means each object having a different address or not. Whenever you are creating an object means it is having a new reference, a new address. That means here, do you think that this object address is going to be same as this object address? Both are pointing to the same? No, both are not same because here it will create a new object and inside that object it is going to store the ID and the name value. Again, here also it is going to create a new object. And inside that new object, it is going to store the same value, but that object address, it is going to be different. In this case, if the object address is 100, 100, then it might be possible that in this case, the object address might be 200. So as the object address is different for all the objects, right? So in this case, it will consider that each object is a different object and hence it is printing all these objects in the output. Clear, guys?
Yes.
Right. And it is not only same for except method. You can take any of method you can take. You can take intersect. Right. I'm using the intersect. So as for intersect, what should be the output? The common elements. But in this case, it will not consider this object is same as this object. So as it is not considering same, so what it will do, it will return, right? So let me do one thing. If ms, okay, dot count is greater than 0, then only go and perform these things. Else print no element. No elements, right? So in this case, so is there any common element, common object reference address? No, there is no common reference address, right? That means here the student Samvit is having one address. Here the student Samvit is having a different address. The reference address are going to be different and hence it will not consider this object is same as this object and same for all other cases, right? So and as a result, what it will do, it will not return anything. So in this case, you will see a blank output. No element is going to be displayed and whatever the message we have written, no element, that is what it is going to print. Clear, guys? Why it is not returning any element? Because it is not finding any two objects having the same reference address. Whenever you use the new operator means it is going to be a new object, right? And this is also the same in the case of union. So union means what? You will see it is going to return all the objects, right? So it is going to return all these objects. It is going to return all this object without removing any duplicate element. Why? The default comparer which is used, it will consider this is a different object, this is a different object. As a different object, both are going to be appeared in the result set. Let us run the application and see the output. See, Sambit is appeared once, Sambit is also appeared here. But and as I mentioned, you cannot if you use the concat operator, then concat means it is the default. Its default nature is it should be written both the it should return all the elements without removing duplicacy. So there is no issue in this case. In this case, it is going to return all the data as expected. But the point that you need to remember whenever you are working with complex type, right? Whenever you are working with a complex type, and whenever you are performing the except method, intersect method, and union method, the default comparer is going to check the reference of the object, not the individual property values. And but what is our requirement? We need to make sure that it should check the values of the object, not the reference address. And that means what? We need the output as expected. If I'm going to perform the except operation means it should return the elements, it should return the object which are it should check the values of individual properties and needs to identify whether the same ID and name value is appeared in the other collection or not. If appear, then what I need to do, whether I need to return that element or not, as for the operation, it should decide. And for that purpose, what we need to do, we need to use the other overloaded version of the what I can say, other overloaded version of all these operators except the concat operator, because in concat operator there are no more overloaded version, right? And in our distinct at the session we have discussed, we can use I equality comparer. We can use I equality comparer, right? Second option, I equitable. We can override what we can do. We can override the equals and get hash code method. And the last one is we can project the output to anonymous type, which is already implement the I equality comparer. So we can overcome this problem, right? To overcome this problem means what? Instead of comparing the reference equality, we can make sure that it should check the value equality in 4 different ways. What are the ways? We can use I equality comparer, I equitable interface, equals and get as code method, and anonymous type. So these are the 4 different options that what we need to understand, right? Let us understand these things one by one, right? So the first option is I'm going with anonymous type. So anonymous types means what? We need to project the output to anonymous type. See, previously you only fetch the name object. Now I want to select all the properties. So X such that new. New means here I'm not specifying any type. If I'm not specifying any type, so what is the type? You can see here anonymous type. Anonymous type, and this anonymous type having how many properties? 2 properties, ID and name. So from this student, I'm projecting the properties to an anonymous type, and I'm using the except operator. And again, here from this second collection, I'm projecting the data to an anonymous type, and then I'm calling the toList method. And in this case, this anonymous type, what I'm using here, right? That anonymous type already implement the I equality comparer, and hence, in this case, it is going to return the data as expected. So this is how you need to do in method syntax, and the same you can also do in the case of a what I can say mixed syntax, right? Now, if with this sentence, if you run the application, then you will get the data as expected. Right now, run the application and see the output. See Priti, Hina, and Santosh in the output. And this is going to work as expected for all other operator. Intersect, right? Intersect. So the common elements. See Sambit, Anurag, Pranay, union. Right? Union. Can see the data as expected. You will see there is no duplicate elements. Priti, Sambit, Hina, Anurag, Pranay, Santosh, and Pratik. There is no duplicate element in the. Yes. So you understand, guys, how to overcome the reference equality, how we can overcome reference equality, and how we can make sure to check the individual property values by using anonymous method. Is that clear?
Clear.
Right. So this is one option. Now let us move and understand the other options, right? Other option means I need to create one class and I need to override the uh, and I need to make sure that class to be over, right? So I'm creating a comparer which is inherited from equality comparer, right? And in this case, okay, let me remove all these things because this is making code very noisy. Right? Let me remove all these things. Let me simplify the code so that you will understand these things, right? So in the equals method, what I'm doing, I'm comparing the first object with the second object. I'm checking the ID value and the name value are same or not. If same, then it is going to return true. If not, then it is going to return false. And as we remember, whenever we are using the equals method, it is mandatory to use the get as code method. And here simply I'm returning the hash code of the ID and the name properties, right? That's it. So once you create the student comparer, right? This is the student comparer which is inherited from equality comparer. Next, what you need to do, you need to create an instance of student comparer, right? And then you need to pass the student comparer to this select method, right? So remove now you do not need to use this select, right? And here you just need to pass this one, all students, right? Again, here you need to you do not need to select this, you just need to select std, right? And to this union method, you need to pass the second parameter as this one, and here student comparer should be the second parameter. Right now you can see I'm using the second overloaded version, which is taking the I equality comparer as a parameter. I equality comparer. So basically what I'm doing, I'm creating a comparer class that is inherited from I equality comparer. It's a generic type. So you need to specify the type for which you want to check the value equality. And in this, in the returning class, you need to specify what are the property name you want for the value equality. I want to check both the ID and the label. It might be possible that the student entity might be many other properties, but which are the properties you need to take into consideration while checking the equality. I'm taking the ID and the name values, right? So I'm returning, I'm making this statement, whether the first property ID is equals to second. If both are true, this is going to return true. And operator, if this is true, then both are, if both the condition true, then this and operator is going to return true, else it is going to return false. And if false, then both objects are not equal, right? With these changes, right? Now run the application and see the output. It should give you the same output as the previous one. See, in this case, you can see no duplicate element is there, right? So similarly, you can check the except method. You can see except method is working fine. You can also check the intersect method. It is also working fine. Clear, guys? How to use the I equality comparer? Any question from anyone? Guys?
No, sir.
All clear, sir.
Okay, fine. So the next option what we are going to discuss, we need to override the equals and get as code method, right? By default, we know. So can anybody tell me who is the superclass of all types in .NET framework?
Object class.
Object.
And this object class having some virtual methods like equals, get has code, right? So can we override those virtual method within the student class? Yes, we can override. See, here what I'm doing, I'm just overriding, right? I'm just overriding the equals method and the get has code method, right? So what exactly I'm doing, I'm just taking the current ID with the object, what it is taking as a parameter with the current name. This means the current object, and this means the object which you pass to this equals method, right? And are same or not. If same, then it is going to return true, right? So basically, whatever code we have written uh, uh, in the comparer, this is same. So in this case, x means this is the first object. So in this case, right, that x means what? In this case, that x is nothing but your current object, this dot it. And here, this is object, so we need to typecast that to student type, and then I'm using the ID. This is the same thing, right? And here, this is also going to be the same thing, right? So this is also going to be the same thing. So you can use these things. So if you are not using this one, so what I can show, I can comment these things, right? And if you want to specify this is the current object, so you can also use the this operator, right? So the simplify, I can also simplify the things like this. So basically here we are overriding the equals and get as code method of the object class, right? So once you override these two methods, then you do not need to create the comparer and pass that comparer as a parameter. Already within the what I can say, already within the student class, we have override the equals and get as code method, and that's it. Now you can run the application and you will get the output as expected. Right, so now you can see we are getting the output as expected. You can check other methods as well, like union and intersect. Okay. This is also working fine. You can also check the intersect method. See, this is also working fine. The last option, so we have discussed I equality comparer, we have discussed equals and get as code method, we have discussed the anonymous type. The last one is I equitable. So basically what you need to do is you need to make sure your student class is inheriting from the I equitable interface, right? So your student class needs to inherit from I equitable interface. This, if you go to the definition of this class, then this is implementing the this class is defining the equals method. So you need to provide implementation for the equals method, and this is the same I mean the objects, right? Comparing ID with this ID and name with the name, and this is the get as code method, right? So basically I'm implementing equals method and overriding the get as code method. That's it. Now you can run the application and you will also get the output as expected, right? There is no issue in the output. Clear, guys?
Yes, like
Right? So these are the different options that you can apply to make the complex type work, right? Whenever you are comparing, right? Whenever you are using with the complex type with these operators, right? So basically, whenever you are using these operators, if you are using these operators on complex type, then make sure to use any of these four approaches, right? Which approach you like, you can use that approach. That's it for this intersect union set and all these operators. Next, what we are going to discuss is ordering operators. Any question from anyone related to this four, I mean this method? Anyone having any question? How it is working, why it is not working? Any question from anyone? Otherwise, we will move to the next concept.
No questions, sir.
Okay, these are very simple things, right? Once you understand the basic concept, right, then you can easily understand these things. This is not new things, right? Already, these methods are available in SQL Server, right? If you are having some experience on SQL Server, then you know in SQL Server we can also do this operator: intersect, accept, union, distinct, all these things. This is also same. It is not a different one. The functionality it is going to be same. Right. Now we are going to discuss ordering operators. Ordering means what? Ordering means it's a process to manage the data in a particular order, right? You have a list of countries, you have list of students. You want to represent the countries in ascending order or in descending order, right? Based on the name, right? You want to, you are having a list of students. You want to show those students by ascending order of the roll number or registration number. So that means we want to represent the data in a particular order. We want to rearrange the data in a particular order. This is not going to change the data. It is just going to rearrange the data in a particular order. And there are basically in Linq, there are basically 5 operators available to reorder the data. One is order by descending, then by descending and reverse. So what is order by? Order by means if you want to store the data in ascending order, then you need to use order by. If you want to store the data in descending order, then you need to use order by descending. And this then by descending will come into the picture when you want to sort the data based on multiple conditions, right? Suppose you want, suppose what is your requirement? Your requirement is there is a list of students and students having branch, ID, first name, last name, gender, like many properties are there. What is your requirement? You need to face, you need to sort the data by branch in ascending order, first name in descending order. So there are two conditions. First of all, I need to sort the data based on the branch in ascending order. Then I need to sort the employer, need to so if there are 3 students, 3 branch, then first it will show CSE, IT, or any other department, any other branch data. Then in CSE department, it might be possible that there are 100 students, and out of this, and I just want to sort these 100 students by their name in descending order. Then in that case, you need to use first of all order by with the branch column, and then by descending with the first name column. So basically, the primary sorting is going to be done by these two methods. That means first column sort is going to be done by this order by descending. If you want to use sort the data in ascending order, you need to use this method. If you want to sort the data in descending order, then you need to use order by descending order. And once the primary sorting is done, from the secondary sorting, right, you need to use this then by and then by descending, and you can use them multiple times. Multiple times means you want to sort the data first name ascending, last name descending. So you can use then by name, then by descending, last name, like this. And the reverse means it is just going to reverse. It is just going to reverse the data of the collection, right? If in whatever manner the data is stored in the collection, it is just going to alter. It is just going to alter the sequence of the data. Whichever element appeared first, that will become last, and last element will become the first element. It is just going to reverse the data, right? So what is we are going to discuss now? We are going to discuss these 5 operators in today's session, right? Let us start. So order by method means it is going to sort the data in ascending order, right? So the point that you need to remember is it is not going to change the data. It is just going to change the order of the data. And you can use this order by using any data type, right? You can use with the character, string, decimal, integer, any type of a data type you can use. Let us understand this order by method with one example, right? So you can see this is my integer list, which is contains some data in random order. See 10, 45, 35, 29, 100, 69, 58, 50. Now, before sorting the data, this is. Now, what my requirement is, I need to sort this data in ascending order. If you want to sort this data in ascending order, then what you need to use? You need to use order by method, and in the method syntax, and in query syntax you need to use the order by query, order by operator, right? So you can see from number in integer list, order by num, select num. So in order by, you need to specify the column name which on which you want to sort the data. And in this case, as it is a integer type variable, so you can directly specify this string, but for complex type, you need to specify the property name. That is what we are also going to discuss. So here, we are sorting the data in ascending order, right? So now let me run the application. You will get the data in ascending order: 10, 29, 35, 45, 50, 58, 69, and 100. Clear, guys? How to sort the data in ascending order? Clear
Yes.
or not? Right. And one more point, guys, you need to remember order by. Whenever you are using the order by operator, by default it is ascending. But if you want, then you can also use the ascending operator. Right. So you can see I'm writing order by num ascending. If you are writing ascending, that is fine. You will get the same output as expected, right? But if you are not right, so you can see the output as expected. But if you omit this one, then by default it is going to be order by ascending only, right? So this is how you can use order by ascending. Now, if you want to store the data in descending order, then what you need to do, you need to use the order by descending method. Order by descending, right? And here, what you need to do, you need to rewrite order by descending, right? Once you type order by descending, and here once you specify descending, then it is going to sort the data in descending order, right? So let me run the application and show you the output before sorting and after sorting. After sorting, you will get this output. Clear? Nice.
Clear.
I don't know why you guys are silent. Whether you are understanding or not understanding the concept, that is also I'm doubting. Okay.
It's all clear, sir. Thank you.
You need to give your input. Sitting ideal doesn't make any sense. Right. So here you can see I'm having a collection of strings. Right. So in this case, it is a string array. And here I'm also using the order by ascending. So in this case, the previous example we use integer data, and in this example it is using the string data. Right now, if you run the application, then it will display the data in ascending order. Agarwal, Divang, and Hina, so, right? Alphabetically, it is sorting the data, right? So if you want to sort this in descending order, then what you need to do? You need to call this order by descending order. And here, instead of ascending, you can write descending, right? Now run the application and you will get the output as expected, right? So you can see Tiwari is the last one and Agarwal is the, Tiwari is the first one and Agarwal is the last. So this is how you need to use order by ascending and order by descending in what I can say with primitive data type. Now let us see how we can use this thing using complex data type, right? So in most of the time, you will not having this kind of data. In most of the time, you are having some complex data, right? So for that purpose, what I'm doing, I'm creating one student class. Inside that student class, I'm having ID, first name, last name, and branch properties. You can also add any number of properties, right? Then I'm having this get all students, what I can say method. This is going to be my data source. And this method is going to return me a list of students, right? And here you can see it is having two different branch information, CAC and ETC. And you can see in CAC, there is a student Preeti. In ETC, there is also student Preeti, right? And also you can see in CAC, right? Also, you can see Anurag is also having, Anurag also appeared twice inside the CSC branch. So intentionally, what I'm doing, I'm adding some duplicate elements, right? So intentionally, I'm adding some duplicate elements, or you can say duplicate students, to make you understand how this order by method is working as expected, right? So now this is my data source, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to, okay, let me show you what is my requirement. Now we need to sort the student data based on the branch of the student in ascending order. To do so, what we need to do, modify the, right? So what is our requirement? We need to sort the student data in the branch column in ascending order, right? So what you need to do, you just need to call the order by method, and here as it's not a simple type, the data source, right? So what you need to do, you need to specify the property name. Later I will show you how you can specify multiple properties, right? But now just focus on one property, right? So you can see x dot branch, right? And here using the Linq query syntax, you can specify this, or you can also specify ascending. Writing ascending is optional. If you want, you can write, there is no issue. So you just need to call the order by method, and you just need to pass the branch column, right? So now run the application, then you will see that, okay, there are some error. What is the error? I know. So we need to change this string comparer. Okay, let me comment this thing. This is not required anymore in this section, right? So now run the application, and you will see the data should be sorted based on the branch column, right? So branch CAC, you can see first it is displaying all the CAC branch student, and then it is displaying all the ETC branch student. And then whatever way you have added the properties, that is going to be displayed. So you can don't consider here the name property, only consider the branch. First of all the CSC branch student, and then all the ETC branch student. Why? Because we have specified the branch. So in this case, C letter comes first before the E letter. So C letter comes first and then E. Now, if you want to display this thing in descending order, then what you need to use? You need to use order by descending, and here you need to specify descending. So in this case, you will see first ETC branch student, and then it is going to display the student branch, CS branch students. Clear, guys? Clear or not? Guys,
Yeah.
right.
Yes, sir,
Now,
clear.
Now, what is our requirement? I just want to use this order by clause with the filtering clause. Now, what is my requirement is I want to search. Okay, I want to search the CSC. First of all, I need to filter. I need to fetch only the CSC branch students, and once the CSC branch students filter data I get, then I need to sort the data based on the first name column, right? So basically you understand. So what is our requirement? Filter CSC branch student. So filter, or you can say fetch CSC branch students, then sort, okay, sort the students by first name in ascending order. That is what our requirement. So we need to fetch the CSC branch student, then we need to sort the students by first. So here what you need to do. So first of all, what I need to do, I need to use the where condition. See, in this case, you can use the where condition after the order by clause, but that will not a good programming practice. Why? Because this order by clause is just going to alter the students. This where by clause is basically going to filter the data. Means from these students, if I'm using this where condition first, then it will filter the data. Only the CSC student data will be there, and those CSC student data is going to be sorted by this order by clause. But if I use this query first, then it will not be going to give you any kind of exception. But what is the problem? In this case, it will filter all the student data, and once filtered, then it is going to return the CSC branch student. So from these two approaches, which one is good as per your experience? Guys, tell me whether this approach is good, or let me put both the approaches, or this approach. Which one is good? Which one is good, guys? So you just tell me, in this approach, First of all the students, it is going to sort all the students and then applying the filter. In this case, it is applying the filter first, then sorting the data. Which one is good?
I would say MS2 is faster.
Which one is good? Any more? Anybody else?
Filtering first will be the good.
Filtering first will be good. Why?
Less data to work with.
Filtering first is good. Why? Because see, in this case,
Because
whenever I'm yes, whenever I'm
yeah,
applying
actually, even
the
in the order by also it will do the filtering things only. So if it is an order by, it will go with the binary search or some other search. So there
okay,
also we are wasting our things. So
right?
then
So
after we are making a filtering.
exactly. So basically, using this where condition first is a good idea because in this case, it will filter the data. Out of 100, only 5 or 10 records are there. And on those 10 records, it is going to use the order by search, right? But in this case, out of 100, first it will sort those 100 records and then applying the filter, which is not a good because I'm sorting. Whenever I'm going for sorting means it is internally using some mechanism, right, to sort the data by using some kind of a binary search mechanism, right? And sorting 10 records comparing to sorting 100 records, definitely the 10 record will take less time comparing with 100 records. So in that case, if you are having such kind of scenarios, then always use this where conditional operator or where extension first, then use the order by method, right? So you should see in this, in both approaches, you will not get any kind of error. But from the performance impact, from the performance point of view, you will get good performance if you are applying the where condition first, and then if you are applying the order by clause, right? So in this case, what will happen? It will filter the CSC branch student, and then it will apply the filter. Then it will sort the first name. It will sort the student based on the first name column in descending order, right? Now run the application and see the output. Only CSC branch student, you can see Anurag, Pranay, Priti, and Saurabh, right? So now if you want to provide this in descending order, then what you need to use? You need to use order by descending. You need to use order by descending. And here you need to use order by descending, right? Now run the application and see the output. See, the name is default, right? So that is fine. So as of now, what we have discussed? We have discussed how to work with integer data type, how to work with string data type, and how to work with the complex data type, and how to work with the what I can say complex data type along with where and ordering operator. But the thing is that as of now, whatever example we have discussed, they are sorting the data based on a single column. But it is not always the same, right? It might be possible that we are going to use multiple sorting column, right? We might be use multiple sorting column. That means what? First sort the data on one column, then sort the data on a different column, right? And for that purpose, we need to use other Linq extension methods. What are them? They are then by and then by descending, right? The order by descending method works fine when you want to sort the data based on a single value or a single expression or a single property. If you want to sort data based on a single property, if you want to sort by descending order, you can use order by method. If you want to sort the data in descending order, then you need to use order by descending method. But if you want to sort the data based on multiple values or multiple expressions, then you need to use then by and then by descending method along with order by on order by descending method. That means if you want to sort data based on multiple keys or multiple properties, right, then definitely you are going to use then by or then by descending, but not only then by and then by descending along with order by and order by descending. So this order by and order by descending will do the primary sorting, right? Means the first level of sorting is going to be done by these two methods. From the second time, okay, from the second sorting onwards, right? From the second time onwards, this then by and then by descending column, descending method will come into the picture, right? So what are these Linq then by means? If you see the definition, the Linq then by method is used to sort data, right? So this then by basically like order by sort the data in which order? Ascending order. Similarly, this then by method is basically going to sort the data in ascending order, but from the second level onwards. Why? Because first level is going to be done by order by, and from the second level it is going to be used. Similarly, then by descending means what? Now it is similar to order by descending. Order by descending means it is going to sort the data in descending order. So similarly, then by descending method is going to sort the data in descending order, but from the second level onward. That means the primary sorting is going to be done by then by method, or sorry, primary sorting is going to be done by order by or order by descending. From the second the level sorting, right, from the second key onwards, you can use then by and then by descending method. This is not clear at the moment, don't worry, we will try to understand this thing by taking some multiple examples, right? So let us see one example to understand this concept very clear, right? Right. So what is our requirement? So we are having the student collection, right? We are having the student collection. What exactly we want to do? We want to sort the student data, first name and last name in descending order. This is not a descending, this is ascending order, right? So what is our requirement? We need to sort the first name and last name in descending order. Sorry, in ascending order. So first name means the primary sorting, last name is the secondary sorting. As per our discussion, if you want to sort the data in ascending order, right? If you want to sort the data in ascending order, primary sorting is going to be done by order by method. Secondary sorting is going to be done by the then by method. So here you can see order by, I'm specifying the first name. Then by means from the, this is the primary sorting. You can say this is my primary sorting. And this is the secondary sorting. Okay. So secondary sorting. So primary sorting and secondary sorting. So you can see first it will sort the data first name in ascending order, then last name in ascending order. And this is the method syntax. Let me run the application. Okay. Anurag, uh, two elements are same. So what you will do first, it will take these two elements, or to which elements to be appeared first. That again is going to be decided by the last name property. Mohanty Sharma. So M is coming before S, so it will take Anurag Mohanty is the first element. Similarly, Pranay, you can see Kumar Raut. So there are two elements with the same name. So it will, in that case, it will take care of the second condition. Second condition means the last name, which element comes, which letter comes first, K or R. K comes first, so it will take Kumar and then it is Raut. And same in the case of Preeti. So Preeti, two elements with the same name, so the last name is Agarwal Tiwari. So between these two last name, Agarwal will come first and then Tiwari, so it will sort the element like this. So the primary sorting is based on the first name, and secondary sorting means whenever there is a tie, then the secondary sorting will come into the picture. Clear, guys? Don't think that this is the secondary or name is Agrawal, so it will come first. Don't think. So whenever there is a tie, secondary sorting will come into the picture. If there is no tie, then secondary sorting will not come into the picture. See, Hina, Manoj, so they are primary sorting sorted this the element Hina 1. So there is no tie, so it will come as it is. Manoj as it is. Pranay, there is a tie. Two elements, two first name with the same name. So in that case, secondary sorting will come into the picture, and that last name will decide which elements will become first and which student will come next. Clear, guys? It is just like the
Yeah.
dictionary.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is how it is work. So this is fine. So in this case, you can see I'm using this method syntax. How I can do the same thing using the query syntax, right? So for the query syntax, what we need to do is there is no such operator called what I can say then by or then by descending. In the case of query syntax, if you have multiple sorting properties, right, then you need to specify all is right. Then you need to specify all those conditions or all those properties separated by comma. So in this case, you can see order by. I want to sort the first name in ascending order. Yes, std dot first name. I want to sort the last name in ascending order. You just need to use a comma and specify the last name property. That's it. So there is no such operator called then by or then by descending. So you simply need to use you need to specify multiple properties or multiple column, or you can say multiple values by separating them with a comma, and that's it. Right now run the application and you will get the output as expected. Clear guys how to use a multiple sorting, right? Multiple sorting columns or conditions using both method syntax and query syntax. In method syntax, we are having then by method or then by descending method. But in order by, we are only having this order by clause and we need to specify these things. Clear? You can see the data is again as expected. Any question from anyone related to this example? And if you are not sure, sir, if you are not sure, then you can here write ascending. And if you want to sort the name in descending order, then you can write descending, right? So now, if you run the application, then it will sort the data first name in ascending order and last name in descending order. See, Anurag, previously MS, right? Now M and then S. Okay, where you have to write like this. So the next example, what I'm going to discuss, how I can use multiple conditions, right? So previously I'm using only ascending, right? Now what is our requirement? We need to use ascending, descending, and multiple conditions, right? What is our requirement? First, sort students in ascending order based on branch. Based on the branch, we need to sort the student in ascending order. Then sort student in descending order based on the first. Based on the first name column value, we need to sort the student in descending order. Finally, sort the student in ascending order based on the last name. Based on the last name column value or last name property value of the student, we need to sort the student. So basically, we are having three conditions, right? So let us try to understand. So first of all, this is my data source. What is the first sort condition or primary sorting? Primary sorting is sort the student in ascending order based on the branch. So use order by, specify the branch property. Sort student in descending order based on the first name. Then what method you need to use? Then by descending. From the second sorting onwards, you need to use either then by or then by descending. Then by descending, if you want to sort the data in descending order, then by means if you want to sort the data in ascending order. So then by descending on which column? First name column. Then the last or finally sort the student in ascending order based on the last name. Then use then by and specify the last name, and that's it. Your query is ready. And using query syntax, it is very simple. What you need to do, std.branch, which order? Ascending order. Specifying ascending is optional. If you specify, it's fine. If you do not specify, then it also fine. Sort by first name in which order? Descending order. std.first name descending. And the last name in which order? Ascending order. std.last. And by default, the sorting is ascending. That's it. Now run the application and see the output. See, so first it is CAC branch student, then ETC branch student, then first name in descending order, Saurabh, Priti, Pranya, Anurag, Priyanka, and whenever there is a try, then it is sorting the data in the ascending order. So like this, you can see the output. Clear, guys? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we'll see another things. What is our requirement? We'll see more complex examples, right? So what is our requirement? First, we need to fetch only the CSC branch students, and then we need to sort the data as follows. First, sort the student in ascending order based on the first name. Based on the first name, we need to fetch the CSC branch student. Then we need to sort the student in ascending order based on the first name property value. Then sort the student in descending order based on the last names, right? That is what our requirement, right? Let me show you how you can do this. Right. So first of all, you need to filter the data based on the which column value branch and what is the value CSC. So std substats std.branch equals to CSC. Then based on the then we need to sort the data in ascending order based on the first name column. First name in ascending order. Then the last name column in descending order, and that's it. So you can see this is I'm using the MS. And if you want to write the same thing using Gory syntax, then that is also fine. Where std.branch equals to CSC order by first name, right? Order and last name in descending order. By default, it is ascending. If you want, then you can also write like this, right? And then I'm printing the data, right? Run the application and see the output. CSC first name is sorted in ascending, last name in descending. Clear, guys?
Yeah.
Right. So that's it for today. Tomorrow we are going to discuss few more operators. Right? Few more means aggregation operator. Then some other operators are there. That what like all operator, any operator, like sum, average, max, mean, all such operators we are going to discuss tomorrow. Any question from anyone related to today's session? Okay, fine. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.